Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer and welcome to your daily silver stacking video. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for 2022 and what's to come. When I say that I've never been so excited to make silver stacking content on YouTube, there's a reason. I have a huge announcement, but I can't mention it yet. Just hold your horses, please stick around, because I can promise you that I'm pushing the boundaries of the world of precious metals, doing things that have never been done before. And I'm being serious about that. I'm pushing the envelope. Never have we seen some of the stuff that I'm working on, and I am super excited. But I'm going to do it the right way, so it's going to take some time. I can't tell you what, but just know that 2022 is going to be big, not only for me, but you as well. So excited. Anyways, though, let's look at 2022. We've heard a lot of people saying it's going to be bearish, a lot of people saying it's going to be bullish, right? It's wishy-washy. But I did find two articles that have covered 2022 and why it could actually be bullish. And I like these two articles because they're mentioning different things. One goes into more of the supply and demand side. The other one brings more of a different perspective. And when we're looking at demand, silver demand reaches a 6-year high. Now, we know that there's a direct correlation between silver's price and the demand. When silver's demand is higher, the price is almost identical to it. So that should tell you enough right off rip, that silver's price is definitely going to be getting influenced by the demand, which is going to be rising astronomically over the next decade, right? But that's not including all the other factors and elements as well. So make sure you like this video. Please like the video. Please leave a comment. Even if you just say, hey, what's up, Slayer? Leave a comment, right? I mean, we're all in this together. We're all family. I'm going to say a lot of stuff that maybe you don't agree with, but we can agree to disagree. We are all sharing one love, and that's for silver, right? So anyways, let's jump into this. Here's why silver should do well in 2022. So 2021 was a year to forget investors in silver, and that's because the metal was down 12% year over year, and that's just the SIL plunging 20%. But when we're looking at the digital side, it really doesn't matter if you're buying the physical metal. Then these numbers shouldn't mean much. When you're looking at miners index and all that, people are more prone to be trading, even selling, right? I do see that true silver stackers, ones that own the metal, definitely have a different perspective than people on the SLV that are more than likely trading. Now, yes, you can turn in those contracts for physical delivery, but most times people don't. So 2021 was a year to forget for investors, and that's the metal down 12%. Now, however, as we begin the new year, the outlook appears to be much better, with many silver miners improving from the frothy valuations since the first quarter of 2021, that silver squeeze from Wall Street Silver, and the sentiment in the metal itself showing elevated levels of pessimism. And in addition, while the metal remains well below its prior highs of $30 and in a volatile range, the long-term picture has rarely looked better. Keyword is rarely looked better. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's see what they're talking about. So starting with the worst indicator first, the gold to silver ratio has continued to underperform over the last several months and has slid below its long-term moving average, which is this white line. So, having said that, or hold on, this is a negative development, given that the healthiest environment for silver with the most alpha is when silver is trading above this key moving average. So having said that, while we're below this moving average, the gold to silver ratio is still attempting to make higher low versus last year's levels. So while we've seen a slight downgrade from a bullish reading to a neutral reading, the above indicator is still not showing any red flags. The gold to silver ratio It's a very tricky thing, especially as we move forward, because silver's going to start taking on a life of its own, moving apart from gold. Whether gold is performing, great or terrible, silver is going to move regardless of what gold does. Right now, it moves in tandem. Silver is gold's little brother. But when we're looking at the uses of silver, silver's potential, the reason why my name is Silver Slayer, not Gold Slayer, gold won't have any room to run with silver or stocks or even the dollar index, given that when you're looking at silver's true value and what it really is used for and what it will be used for. So moving over sentiment, we continue to remain on a slightly bullish reading. And that's far more market participants being bearish than bullish. Below, chart evidences this in showing that bullish sentiment for silver is in the lower portion of its range and hit an extreme reading of 12% bulls last month. If we look at prior instances, dips below the 15% level have produced strong rallies in the coming months. So it's looking like, given the historical pattern, if we're reading 12% bulls down and we're looking at the dips below 15% have produced strong rallies, it's 1 plus 1 equals 2, folks. We're looking at a strong rally in the coming months. So as long as the majority remains pessimistic on silver, I would expect the metal to continue to make higher lows versus the recent low at $21.50 an ounce. If we look at the technical picture, and bearishness among market participants is surprising, with nearly 3 bearish market participants for every 1 bullish participant. And this is because silver has broken out above its downtrend line, appears to be building the right side of the cup base, and is holding above the pivotal $21.50 an ounce support line. And this shows that the metal is trying to begin a new uptrend and resume its bull market cycle, which would be confirmed at a close $27. Oh, that psychological $27 resistant level. If it breaks above that, we would see 30 hands down very quickly, go into overbought territory, probably correct. But regardless, there's definitely going to be some drama in the coming months. I don't see that not coming true. A lot of people are going to get tested on the emotional involvement they have, but if you just buy and hold, right? Just buy, hold on for dear life, you're golden, right? Just keep stacking, lower your dollar per ounce average, especially if you're someone that bought in at $30 last year during the Wall Street silver movement. Just keep buying, right? If you bought in at $30, then whether the price is at $21 or $26, you could still be lowering your dollar per ounce average in return, showing how much profitable your stack could be. So meanwhile, the long-term outlook could not be more bullish when looking at the bigger picture. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Meanwhile, the long-term outlook could not be more bullish. It literally couldn't be more bullish. It's obvious. But I don't know why people don't look at that. When I read articles, people trying to downplay silver, they never mention the bigger picture. They only go up here and talk about some of the riskier parts, leaving out the context of the main reason we all invest into silver. Fundamentally, silver demand continues to rise due to electrification, and technically this is being confirmed by a massive breakout from a multi-year base. The last time we saw a breakout from multi-year base in silver was 2004. The metal consolidated for over-year reset its overbought reading. It then rallied 50% in 2006, following the consolidation period in 2005. Assuming we're to see something similar, this means that silver could easily take a run at the $29, $30 an ounce level before the end of the year. Wow. Talk about opportunity, talk about potential. When we're looking at silver, like that one sentence said, the long-term outlook couldn't look any more bullish. You could try to debate, you could try to downplay, you can try to mislead or twist words into your narrative for whatever gains you want, but you cannot deny the fact that silver makes the most sense out of any investment, even more so than gold. So here's another article talking about how 2022 could be fruitful for silver bulls. So 2021 It was a long year to, I mean, it was a forgetful year for precious metals investors. Not many saw the US dollar rise, and gold and silver finishing the year lower, major stock indexes higher this time with the year, and that's all the fundamentals we witnessed. It didn't make sense. We know that silver, though, its current price is illogical. And yes, if we didn't know silver's price, let's say like we're on like a trivia game or something, or you asked someone that didn't know, and you looked at everything happening in the economy, all that, you would think silver would be triple digits by now. Why isn't it though, Silver Slayer? I just made a video about that the other day. Silver is manipulated. Silver prices are rigged to some extent. To what extent? I don't know. I mean, nobody could really tell. We're talking about something that is going on probably much deeper than we all could even fathom when we're talking about spoofing, right? When we're talking about JP Morgan, Merrill Lynch, Deutsche Bank, all these bankers basically rigging the market to their own standards or whatever they want to profit from, placing false buy orders on the exchanges, canceling the order before it goes through. And they're doing this with billions of dollars. I mean, JP Morgan got caught. They're backdating the last 5 decades of them doing this. And silver's a pretty small market compared to gold. That's why they choose silver. And as judges crack down harder, we're seeing that a lot more people, a lot more banks than just JP Morgan have been doing this. So to what degree, nobody knows, but I can guarantee that is affecting the price. But there is going to become a time when even no matter how, so there's going to be a time when supply and demand will overrule any type of manipulation that could possibly happen. And you want to know why, and you want to get a little glimpse of how, how supply and demand can outperform or outpace any type of manipulation. Look at what Wall Street Silver did. They tried to corner the silver market, buy up all the silver. They pushed silver to nearly $30 within 3 days, right? Just a couple thousand people. Now, Wall Street Silver, that wasn't a fail. A lot of people thought that they failed. But for a couple thousand people to push silver's price up to nearly $30, the highest we saw since, the July 2016 high of $21, that is very impressive. That's very impressive. Firstly, silver is used in almost everything from mobile phones, streetlights, computers, jewelry, medical science, and even the water we drink is purified by silver. The Silver Institute, which is the holy grail of information, stated that physical supply in 2021 increased against the previous by 8%, 1,056,000 ounces. However, demand for physical is up 15%. To 1,033,000 ounces, leaving a surplus of 23 million ounces. This is very small. I mean, it's very small. The demand for the white metal is forecast to further increase over the next few years at a time when global investment in electricity or electrically powered products is set to take off. EVs, solar panels, 5G towers, silver lithium-ion batteries, everything. And the Silver Institute estimates that electric vehicles alone will consume 90 million ounces per year by 2025. That is now less than 3 years away. Every automobile company by 2030 is going to be electric. That's crazy to think about. And the amount as we advance in this new digital technological era, imagine how much silver we're going to need within 10 years from now. There's already a silver shortage, and we haven't even started the process yet. When I'm talking about triple digit silver, I say around 2024 to 2025. That's when things will be kicked in full gear. That's when we literally won't have enough silver. That's when Joe Biden or whoever's going to have to come up and say that some of these things are going to have to put on hold because we don't have enough of it. Right now, they can get away with making these promises because we haven't started yet. But there already is still a shortage before we've started. So imagine how serious this is going to be in the coming couple of years. That's when silver's true value, its natural value, is going to start coming out beyond just market manipulation. If you see what I mean now, by spoofing and these rigged prices, they won't have a chance, when they're facing something to that level, to that extremity. So unlike oil and natural gas, the gold and silver markets don't have a weekly stockpile report. So forecasting actual above ground supply is extremely difficult. Can you imagine the price of gold and silver if we had these figures released regularly? Oh my gosh. All the COMEX and LBMA would have to do is release the figures. That said, I'm sure the big boys would still find a reason to short both heavily. Sticking to the supply perspective, the mining industry still has to comply with ESG standards, which are not cheap. Gold mining companies can absorb these costs, as they have considerable margins. Still, the price of silver being as low as it is, the silver production mostly from copper mining, it could prove not easy to swallow. If mines are not producing because it is financially, viable, this only goes to tighten already constricted the supply. It seems almost every other commodity has hidden high in the last 18 months except silver. Can JP Morgan continue to be fined regularly for manipulating metals prices? What I was just talking about, right? JP Morgan's the head honcho, the mascot when it comes to manipulating the price of silver. Can other big commercial banks continue their net shorts on silver? Will the magical $30 an ounce level be the straw that breaks the camel's back? I think so. If it breaks past $30, I'm seeing $40 silver within the next three months, give or take. And if it does that, people will jump on board. That's when all the news articles, the YouTube videos are going to start coming out and talking about silver. That's when people that have never invested a single dollar in their entire life will start stacking silver. The BIS recently announced outstanding forwards and swaps totaling roughly 3,750 million ounces between bullion banks, and there are further liabilities between banks and unallocated accounts. In addition, there are 715 million paper ounces in COMEX. This would suggest 4.5 billion ounces of long positions in derivatives alone. This is a whopping nearly 20 times the annual silver demand. We cannot put our finger on just how much of this figure is physically demanded. We know that recently implemented NSFR should reduce these derivative positions in gold, and due to the relationship with silver, we should see these total positions fall. Macro factors may also look bullish for silver on the face of it. But when we look at historically, gold and silver have always rallied, and significantly so short after a rate hike. Tapering is allegedly underway, yet we haven't seen a collapse in either metal. I mean, oh my gosh. Do you see how from the beginning article to now, they've named probably 10 different realistic, very, very, very realistic, solid reasons why silver is explosive. I mean, this isn't a theory. This isn't speculative. This isn't like stocks where you're just going off of hope. These are things that are happening, that have happened, and they're looking at what influences the price, right? What influences the price, and also not only what influences the price, how it will, and to what degree, and why you need to invest. If you're looking at this, if you've never invested silver, or if you're on the fence, or if you're someone that's trying to debate why gold or stocks are a better investment, and you don't see the reality, if you're still going to try to argue that silver is bearish, then you shouldn't be investing in anything, because that means you're just solely investing off of ignorance and emotion, and that's heavily going to influence your downfall. I mean, the Fed may be reducing their asset purchases by March 2022, but no plan has been announced for their over $8 trillion balance sheet to facilitate this taper. With the U.S. debt at $29 trillion, this is historically an excellent environment for two monetary metals to thrive. And what if, or when, the Fed sees the stock market wobble and realizes they cannot taper and go full circle? Huge upside potential for the metals. Inflation will likely last years. Rising interest rates will not solve supply chain issues. So where does this all leave the price forecast for silver in 2022 and beyond? Speculative bids, supply deficits, increasing demand suggest higher prices. A stock market collapse would see silver get hammered, and if histories go by anything, recover quickly to newer highs. However, the biggest question mark surrounds the massive short positions held by what we can decipher as 8 large commercial banks. We should not look at why they have these shorts, but how we can position ourselves against them. Exactly. You can kick, scream, like when and this is a great article, by the way. Anytime I make a video exposing JP Morgan, right? Exactly what this guy's talking. Anytime I make a video about JP Morgan manipulating or rigging the price of silver, I say this. I say, if the markets aren't always rainbows and unicorns, I'm not going to portray them that way. If there's something that's looking like it's negatively affecting the price of silver, I'm going to tell you. A lot of channels won't. But look, You can kick, scream, whine, cry all you want, but what is that going to do? All we can do is accept that's happening, adjust and adapt accordingly to still work that into our advantage. That's what investors do. Gamblers throw money and hope it sticks with the odds highly not in their favor. The odds are highly against them. Investors make strategic decisions based off information and use that information to work in our favor. The odds are in our favor. That's the difference between investing and gambling. These are significant numbers associated when they are inevitably when they inevitably have short cover. No one knows when it could go on forever, these massive volatility in the first quarter, but factors suggest higher prices follow beyond. I mean, 1 + 1 = 2, right? 1 + 1 = 2. 1 + 1 = 2. 1 + 1 = 2. Then we can go into demand reaching 6-year highs. I don't even have to read this article, but I will. But beyond just demand, which is the most influential, factor when you're talking about silver prices, low supply, high demand shoots the price up. We just went over so many reasons. I mean, the industrial demand in 2021 expected to reach a high of 524 million ounces. And that's a 13% rise, more than the 110 million ounces in photovoltaics alone. Photovoltaics alone. Additionally, on top of solid gains last year, the U.S. coin and bar demand expected to surpass 100 million ounces for the first time since 2015. As for ETFs, or ETPs, 150 million ounces, 564 million ounce increase over the past 3 years. And up till November 10th, we saw a global total of 1.15 billion ounces, close to the all-time high of 1.24 billion ounces, reached last February 2nd. I mean, come on, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. If you watch this video and you are curious about silver, and you're still curious or still on the fence, I don't know what to tell you. Because the information given in this video is so blatantly obvious to what your choice or what your investment should be. I don't know what to tell you. Now, I can't make you. I'm not a financial advisor. All I'm doing is giving you the information that these people are talking about, throwing in my 2 cents on what I'm going to do, and recommending that maybe you should hop on board as well, but before it's too late. Because most people, when they find out about silver's price, it's going to be too late. When most people are talking about something, you already missed the boat. You got to get in before the curve. Most people get in after the curve, just like Bitcoin. Most people got into Bitcoin when it was way too late. Way too late. Most people are going to get into silver when it's way too late. We are still before the curve, ladies and gentlemen. People will be wishing they could buy an ounce of silver for $23. Just like people say, oh, I wish I got into Bitcoin when it was a couple pennies or a couple dollars, a couple $100. That's us right now. That's the opportunity we have right now. Silver is so cheap. Think of how, reading all this information, it's only $23 an ounce. Think about all that information we just went over, how valuable it is. It's only $23 an ounce. Tell me that that is not extremely undervalued. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. I thought this was a very good video. If you did as well, make sure to like the video. If you've tuned in this long into the video, pat yourself on the back. Most people probably clicked off within 2-3 minutes thinking they know it all or they don't need to know anymore. But you soaked up every piece, every ounce of information needed, and that's going to translate into your stacking success and in other areas of your life as well, right? Humble, you wanted to get every piece of information, and that's a great thing to have. I mean, seriously, like most of the best part of the video, the most important stuff was at the end. Most people didn't get that information. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Make sure to like the video. Please leave a comment, even if you just say hi. Make sure you're subscribed. Like I said, I've never been so excited for the coming year when it comes to silver stacking content. And not just me, I'm talking about for you all as well. Pushing the narrative. I mean, I'm doing things that have literally never been done before on YouTube. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited to announce it. I'm so excited to have you all a part of it. And I promise big things are coming. Thanks for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.